Hello, I'm Erin Halvorsen with Rag Rugs by Erin, and I'm going to show you how to make a rectangle rag rug. I'm actually going to be using pillowcases. This one has a blue and tan theme. This one used about 8 pillowcases. So I would allow, if you're going to make it with pillowcases, that you allow maybe 12 or 13 in case you wanted to make it bigger. This one's 28 inches long by 17 inches, wide, I guess, wide, long. You know what I mean. So there we go. This is the pile of ones that I'm going to be working on. I put some green tones together, so we're going to be showing that. What's different about this one as opposed to my other ones, my other rectangle one, is I use strictly an easier format, I guess, in my corners that I found was more consistent than the version that I showed you before. As I learn more, I teach more. I'm not a guru. I just learn as I go, and then I share the information with you, and lots of people are kind enough to share the information with me when they learn stuff, and that helps me as well, so I can bring that to you. So we're going to get started on how to put this rug together and how to make these corners nice and easy, and also keep the corners nice. So join me. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump right in on this rectangle rag rug made with pillowcases. I want to talk a little bit about the sheet yarn that we're going to be using, actually, that was made with the pillowcases, and a couple things to look for that I've learned along the way from making sheet yarn from pillowcases. So there's 2 things. If you have sheet yarn that the pillowcase looks like this, and it's really thin, okay, and the seams right here, I don't know if you can see the sewing, or some of them don't even have this little serger part on here. Sometimes when you start tugging on them like this, they start coming apart a little bit. This one's not too bad because it has the serger part, but less expensive sheets sometimes will just have a seam here, and I've had them come apart, and then you have to keep on attaching these when you get a sheet like that. These 3 sheets that I've got together here at pillowcases don't have that. What's really optimal is if here, look at this one. This one has, of course it's wider, and so you have to hide it a little bit more, but see how it's got the sewing there, but it's got the serger and it's really sturdy. The chances of that coming apart, it's really sewn in 3 places. It's not as likely. So be aware that if you have one that just has one seam across there and you pulling on it, you may have to attach them each time at that. On this rug, I had several of them like that. And then this one so far, everything, and the ones I was pulling out to look at for the rest of them, I was going to show you an example. They all look really great, and I'm not going to have to do that, which is awesome. But, you work with what you have. So I wanted to point that out, so don't be frustrated if you happen to get several sheets like that or pillowcases, because you will have to probably pull them apart and then reattach them, which will be a little bit of a drag, and it kind of defeats the purpose. But needless to say. So, also on the video, if you're watching this because you're watching it because of the pillowcases, you've already seen the video on how to cut it in 1 long strip. Those were cut in 2-inch strips because of the project I was using at that time. This is actually, for this project, I'm doing 1.5-inch strips approximately. I'm using a 12mm rag rug hook that I make from my website, and it's the extra long, so you can use this part of it to use this throat to regulate your stitches and still have something to hang on to. These are 8.5 inches long, and this one's reclaimed wood. But I would also recommend, for the sizes that would work, whether you buy my hooks or you get your own, a 14 would work as well. It's a little bit bigger, and you probably want to go to a little bit bigger sheet yarn, maybe a 2-inch, 2.5-inch, and then 16, which is the most common. And I wanted to show you, this is something I wanted to show you. See, these 3 are all poplar, and look at all the different colors that I get in the poplar. And I haven't sent this one in a sale to someone because I'm afraid they're going to think they're getting an imperfection. To me, I love that one with the little black in it. I think that makes it really snazzy, for lack of a better. But I haven't sent that one. Figured I'll sell it maybe in a class where someone can say, I have to have that one. But you can see how different they are. But a 16 would also work. I don't know. You could use, I don't know if this technique would work if you use one of my 19s or go a lot bigger, but I happen to use a 12 or a 14 would work as well, or a 16. So let's, people ask me these questions, and I don't always give the information because I know there's so many variables. I hope that's helpful. So you're going to need a hook, a rag rug crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle number 13 to do that. But let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to finish this rug as well. So I attached my sheet yarn. I have several videos to show you how to do the no-sew method and attach them. When you get started, you're going to do a slip knot. There's many ways to do a slip knot, and if you don't do it my way, that's fine. I'm just going to show you how to do it. I've been liking to do it on this first seam because then I don't have to deal with the seam someplace else. So I take my hand, I cross over my hand, and I go from the back and slide it through, and then you hang on to both pieces and you pull it like this. The long end, if you do it this way, will regulate and pull it a little tighter. You don't want to make it too tight. You can see my beginner oval rug that goes into more detail of how to do that, and slower if you'd like to see it again. My favorite way to do it now is to hide the tail and encompass it all at the same time. You don't have to do it that way. You can just do a chain stitch and not use the tail and then work it in later, but I enjoy doing it this way. You're going to do 10, I did 15 with that rug. I'm going to do probably about 12. You would do anywhere from 10 to 20 stitches, and also my blog, chain stitches. On my blog, I have a formula that other people have helped me with, that you can read that blog, and tells you how to figure out how long to make your initial based upon how big you want your rug. So you're going to hold this so it doesn't keep spinning around, cross over, and pull your material through, pretending that this is all one. Okay, and you don't want to make this too tight. 1, 2, cross over, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm only going to do 10 because I want to get to the other end. Now, yes, this is sticking out, and you may decide you're going to cut that in the end. But a lot of times I can incorporate it as I go around a few times, and I'll cut it later on. Okay, so I've gotten 10. I would suggest doing maybe more like 15 of them. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your work, because you work right to left if you're right-handed, and you're going to skip your first stitch here and go here, because we want to have 2 stitches to work from on the ends. So you're going to do single crochets. The rest of it's all single crochets. So you're going to go into the hole, cross over the material, pull it through. You have 2 on there, cross over again, and pull the back 2 off. You're going to go all the way down. There's your next hole, and pull the back 2 off. I show this in the oval, beginner oval rug, slower and go into more detail. Please view that one to see this, how to start this, if you need it slower. But some people are, you know, this is one of their many videos that they've watched, and they just are going to be ready to strangle me if I go any slower than that. So I do have those available to you. I gear most of them towards the beginner. Okay, so make sure, this is something I may not talk. Some people start twisting this, and then they try to go in the holes, and then they wonder why their beginning doesn't look good. Keep it flat and straight, and you're working on the top of it. Real crocheters probably don't use the other hand, but I use the left hand in order to pull them off, because it's such such wide sheet yarn. And either way is fine. You just find your groove and it works out fine. Okay, so when you get to the first end, you're going to end it like you do an oval. You're going to just go in here and you're going to do 3 single crochets in this, and that's to get around the end. Now what I've seen in classes, and now I'm more aware of this, they know 3 single crochets. If I have a large class, I'll come over and someone's got 3 single crochets and they're all facing right here. Well, that didn't get you around the circumference. So what you're going to do is you're going to place one going here. 1, 2, 3. So watch this. 3 single crochets in this hole. So there's 1. Loosen it up. Now ideally we want it to be working more on this end. So we're going to put the second one in there. You've got it loosen up. See how it's now and now we're going to have the third one. over here. Now I'm picking up color because that's what the stripe is now showing. Okay, now this is something, it's kind of a judgment call and it depends on the person. Some people want to use this as their stitch. That is not wrong. However, I like to go deep. I go deep each time into the stitch. I feel like it makes your rug sturdier. So whether you choose to go here for your single crochets and feed them on the way down, that would be fine, but be consistent and do them all that way. If not, I like to go deep because I want it to be stronger. And so again, personal preference. I sometimes have people comment, I'm grateful, not very many, that will comment and they'll think that it's only one way or the other and on anything. They just, you know, have this conviction, and all power to you. But remember that it's a rag rug, and with creativity, people do things differently, and it can still work out. So here you've got this tail. You could be cutting it off if you want, but watch me try to incorporate it, and slowly it will disappear, hopefully. And if not, I'll still trim it. See, it's partially hidden right now. That's why I'm showing you the whole beginning, so you can see, okay, well that may just be gone. All right, so we're going to go down here. Now this end is going to be a little different than the second end, and then all the other ends will be the same that I'm going to show you with the corners. So what you're going to do is you're going to be establishing two corners or two holes. Okay, so you're going to find two holes. I'm going to use these two holes, this one and this one. In each one of these holes at the end, you're going to put 3 single crochets in each one. We are going to use 3 single crochets in all the corners, but on the other end I'm going to show you the trick to using the 3 single crochets in the corner. So this one seems like a lot, but we're still going to do it. Here's the other end, and the other hole, so we're going to put 3 in there. I used to start with 2 and then move up to 3 and then go back and forth a little bit, and I found this method is quite a bit more consistent. Okay, make sure you don't miss this next one because sometimes it can be crowding it. Make sure you go into the next crochet and then you're going to single crochet up to the other end. Then I'm going to show you on the next 2 ends the same thing of how to use the 3 chain stitches, 3 single crochets in the corner and what I do after each one of them. Okay, it's really a simple thing. It's not fancy. It's just seems to work really lovely. So see, there's that tail again, so that may have to be snipped off. This is a particularly thin pillowcase. It has more polyester than I particularly like, but it is working up quite nicely. All right, so getting to this other end where I put the 3 single crochets in it. So here's a hole. Here's your second one, and here's your third one. Okay, you're going to put 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to put 3 single crochets here, but that's, we'll see, I'll let you show you what I'm going to do there. So 1 single crochet in that hole, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets. Okay, so here's that one right there that was on the end. We're going to skip that. We're going to jump over here to this other corner and put 3 there. So 1, 2, 3. And this is what you're going to be doing from now on when you do the corners. You're going to skip the next stitch. There was 3 there. We're going to skip that stitch and go down to here. So we skipped a hole there. We're going to go down to the other end. I'm going to flatten it out and show you how it looks in a minute. Okay. I like the way these colors are working. It's really most important, the colors. I really have a thing for stripes. I can't wait to see how this material over here looks, because I really like stripes when I put them in my rug. All right, so we got to find the corners here. Here's a corner, and here's a corner. Pull them out like this so you can see it when you get down there. So here's your two corners, and then you have two other holes right there that you could use. But you're going to get to the corner, which this is the first one, and we're going to do 3 single crochets. This is the technique you're going to do for the whole rest of the rug. In the corner, once you've established it, 2, 3, and we're going to skip the next stitch, which is right there. See how you can see right there? 1, we're going to skip it. We're going to come over here and do a single crochet, because this is the end straightaway, and this is the next corner. So I'm going to do 3 single crochets there. Now, if you're watching this because you're watching it because of the rug rectangle, you're going to then see how to do the pillowcases if you want afterwards. Okay, so I did 3 single crochets there. I'm going to skip this hole, which is the next one, and then I'm going to do single crochet here. I'm going to do a few down there and then just flatten it out and let you see how it's looking. And you're just going to proceed like this. After that first initial, how I showed you do the first couple corners there, you're just going to use this technique by skipping the next hole after you've done 3 in the corners. Okay, so here we go. You can see if you flatten it out how you're getting your corners. So let's see, this would be your corner when you get down here, and this would be your corner. So you're going to put 3 in this one and 3 in this one. You're going to skip that one, put 1 single crochet and 3 more there. And when we get down here, we're going to find your corners again. This would be your corner, and this would be your corner. So you're going to put 3 single crochets in here, skip that one, and then 1 single, and 3, and skip. So you're going to put 3 in every one of those corners after the initial, how you saw me get it started. Okay, and then you're going to, we're not going to finish this last, so don't get ready to finish. Then you're going to skip the next stitch, and then just continue on, and you're going to make this great little rectangle rug, and it's a lot less confusing than my other version, but that's how I knew to do it last time. So I get better, I do more. So let's go ahead and show you how to finish this rug right now. It's no different than the other rugs I show you how to finish. So I like to finish it on a corner. Okay, so here's a corner. It's got 3 single crochets in it. I'm not sure if I want the 3 single. No, I took it out. So I only did 1 here. You could decide when you get there how you want to do it. I think I'm just going to do 1 on this particular rug. You may do it differently. I've already cut it off, so you could do it. I'm going to use a tapestry needle, or a yarn needle, which has the rounded end. Let's see if you can see it there. Rounded end, a nice big eye on it. Don't use the plastic ones. And this is a 13 as opposed to a 16. Okay. Also, you're going to end it in the direction you're working whenever you make a rug. And let me show you how to finish it if you haven't seen that. So you were crocheting along like this, and I pulled it out. So what I decided to do is, because we've got a corner here, I'm just going to do, let me see if a slip stitch would work here, make it blend it good. Yeah, that works out good, just a slip stitch. So, and you have to try some things depending on how heavy your material is, of what things are going to work. And some of you don't like to try things You just want it to be exactly the same, and I'm sorry, but I can't always say it's exactly the same. So here you finish. A slip stitch is like this. You go in, you grab the material, and then you just pull the back off. And then what I do is I just pull it through. Okay? You want to finish it some other way, you just go ahead and do that. But for those of you that need a little help, let me show you. Then you're going to thread this. This is way too long, actually, for me to finish it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some off. And I really don't like it that there's a knot there. I try to avoid that. You're going to thread your needle because then that knot has to come through. Though it is a nice little knot, the no-sew method, and it did work out well. So what you're going to do is you're going to feed it through without too much tension on that corner to begin with, because if you pull it too much, you're going to have this corner that does this. So, you know, kind of gently do it. You can feed it in and feed it through here if you want, or you can do it from the back, and it just depends on what you feel like doing. Everyone's got their own little technique. So I don't want to go too deep to begin with because the color isn't the same. So I just kind of feed it through. And see how you got the knot there? It's a little bit of pull, but because it's not a real big knot, I'm still keeping that corner looking good. And you're going to feed it through. Remember, you can follow me on Facebook, where I post specials to my website. You can go to my website, which is www.ragrugsbyerin.com, and my Facebook page is Ragrugs by Erin, and I post things there. My website has all my videos still for free. You just you don't make an account or create an account or place them in your cart. Please don't do that. Just view them. Go to the playlist description, click on the blue link, and view as many times as you want. They're all free. I'm not tracking you. I do have a count of how many people have been there, but other than that, that's it. And I appreciate your orders and your emails that you send me and whatnot. But, okay. You have any questions about my hooks? There's lots of videos there, and I try to organize them in playlists a lot easier than YouTube allows me to, and that's why I do that, because you can't find all the pieces that you need. So then what I do is, after you've gone it far enough, I go back the other way. I try to find a place where I can go back the other way. This is kind of a big old jumbled thing here, because that's where it probably was. I don't like that pillowcase particularly, but so you see, pull it through there. I'm going to turn it again, and then you go back the way that you came. And that helps. And I'm going to put it back up in this color so it's hidden more. If you have it in a different color than what it is, you're more likely to see it. See how you can see that a little bit. And it really depends on your personality. Some of you are relaxed like me, and you just enjoy the whole process. And some of you are, you know, want it to look like a machine made it, and all the power to you. I've seen some gorgeous rugs. There's people much more talented than I am making rugs, and I'm totally impressed. But my focus is on education and sharing, keeping this alive and helping other people to get to enjoy this. So my focus is a little different than maybe some of yours, and that's what makes us all special and unique. So okay, let me do one more. And see, I'm pulling that through. So what you do then is you put a little tension on it. Put a little tension. And there it is right there, but if you go like that, now it's gone. And so there you have it. There's a rectangle rag rug, a nice simple way to do the corners. And you can use pillowcases, of course. You can use sheet yarn or other things. Make sure you wash your material first if you're using scraps, and put it in the dryer as well, or the rug will lose its shape and you'll be disappointed. So join me again, subscribe, like if you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Hello, I'm Erin Halvorsen with Ragrugs by Erin. Today I'm going to show you how to cut a pillowcase in one long strip. If you've seen how to make sheet yarn on one long strip. It's very similar. This is pretty much the same thing, just a little shortcut. The reason why I'm doing this is sometimes things aren't quite so obvious. And also, pillowcases I was avoiding because they were just such a pain. I just didn't feel like I got enough material out of it for what I had, and sometimes I would give them away or throw them away or donate them to something else. I'm going to show you how to cut it in one long strip. This is very simple. You can do it with scissors, or you can do it with a self-healing mat and a rotary cutter as well, whichever is better. I'm going to show you the scissors method because that's readily available to all of us. You can also shortcut this by using the mat and the rotary cutter as well. So here you have a pillowcase, and I have cut off the end and the other end. Okay, so now we have, I'm showing you this, now we have basically a tube of material. Okay, it's still attached here and it's still attached there. I wanted to show you like that so you could get a visual. Sometimes I think things are obvious, but my little quick mind is running so fast that sometimes I don't state things as clear as what I think you need sometimes, and that's only fair that you see that. You're going to fold up one end of the sheet. Make sure you leave enough room. You're going to leave 2 to 4 inches. If you make this too short thinking you're a smarty pants by making this smaller, you're going to have a little bit more of a problem when it comes to the cutting it in one long strip. I'm going to be cutting this in 2-inch strips approximately, not the exactly. I'm going to be eyeballing it, and because of the project that I'm going to be doing next. So it's going to be 2 inches or a little more. So you're going to start by cutting up all the way up just past there where you folded it. So you're going to cut the whole thing each time just past there. I'm going to try to do this really quick. The rotary cutters make short work of this, but those tools cost more and is not necessary to still be able to do this in one long strip. Let me move over here. On my channel I have several videos on how to make sheet yarn, and I show you how to do it with the no-sew method. I show you how to rip them. I show you how to cut them. I show you lots of different things. Please go there and look if you need more detail or more information. I have plenty of videos available to you. I'm going to go ahead and leave that one just like it is. It's a little on the big side. So now you're going to take it like this. Here you go. It's all been cut. And Mr. Cameron, you're probably going to want to come out to the side a little bit more. You're going to slide your arm down there. I'm going to cut this in one long strip. I like to be able to see the top and the bottom where the cut is. See how that is? You're going to come in at an angle, and you can't see it?
Mm-hmm.
What can't you see? You can't see the cut?
Okay.
You see it now? Good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Lyle. That's really important. You've got to be able to see this. Okay, so you see the bottom here and the top. This is the section that wasn't cut. You're going to come in at an angle, and at a right angle because I'm going to be cutting from right to left because I'm right-handed, and you're going to cut from this outside area and go up to this top and meet it there, and it falls off. So everything's going to be at an angle like a spiral notebook. If you were to pull the spiral notebook out, it's all one long strip as well. So here you have an angle. This one's going to be, see, it's lined up here. We're going to come from the previous cut before it on a right angle. So this is at an angle. You're at the one before, cut across, you're at an angle. A friend of mine was really struggling with this, so I'm kind of being a little slower the way I'm doing it. See how I'm going at an angle? From right to left. From the outside one of this one to the inside one of that one. guess it's outside to outside, excuse me. Alright, I'm going to finish this off and then I can show you. Still going right to left. As long as you get the first cut right, the rest of them should fall into place. Almost finished. Here's your final cut. This is the way it looks. So now you have it. One long strip. Okay, and you can roll this into your ball. Let me show you why you don't want to make that. See how this is your little angle? You won't even see that. It will go just fine with your crocheting. However, it was folded like this. If you make that area too short, this is so severe of an angle, you may see it. Okay, so that's why you're going to leave that area when you fold it up to be a little bit longer. Okay, so that's how you cut a pillowcase and one long strip. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you.